We are ending our week of talking about ethics, and after this week, we only have one more week left in which we'll talk about electronic waste and the environment. But to end out our week on ethics, I have a few video resources to point you towards, and then I also just wanted to point out this one last little thing here, which is I heard somewhere one time that somebody said, I don't know who, you could probably Google it and find out that the fate of humanity, really, that the biggest threat to our humanity is a lack of empathy for one another. That a lack of empathy is the greatest threat to our species. And so talking about ethics really, I think, is a super important issue and topic because really being more pro-social and thinking about other people, right? Like, how could we ever go to war with others if we had 100% empathy with them, if we understood their suffering, or, if we understood their frustrations, right? Or how could we destroy the environment if we had empathy for all of the creatures that environmental destruction impacts, the animals and the humans, which are also animals. So if we had empathy for other creatures, other humans, right, like that would really go a long ways in helping us solve a lot of difficulty and hardship which we inflict upon ourselves and others. So the fate of humanity really sort of rests with, having this pro-social orientation or having empathy for other people and thinking about other people. And one person even said that the lack of empathy is the greatest threat to our species. Let's see who said it. I am curious. Lack of empathy, greatest threat to our species. Maybe I said it. Nobody said it. All right, that's my quote. The biggest threat to the human race, I don't know, it's a complete lack of ethics or empathy towards society or living creatures in general. Yeah, so a few other people definitely thought about that. And I just love this quote from Martin Luther King. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So a few last resources for you to look at. We got some videos here. And you should go watch this documentary. It's a very good Friday night well spent. And it's called The Corporation. And it's a documentary, the Corporation documentary. You could go watch the trailer, but this is a fantastic movie just to kind of understand a little bit more about these organizations which have the status in our legal system of being entities, of being beings, right? And how they operate and the impacts they have upon the world. Great movie, go watch it. And then there's another thing which is worth looking into, which is the Bernie Madoff scandal, which was, he's one of the biggest scammers ever in the last, whatever, a long time, but certainly, the last decade, but even he's an all-time scammer. He scammed like $50 billion from people. That's a lot of money to scam from people. You have to be a really good scammer. And so you could search Bernie Madoff 60 Minutes, and you can watch the 60 Minutes report on Bernie Madoff. And you could also see Sesame Street explains the Madoff scandal. I'll also put a link for the 60 Minutes Bernie Madoff bit into the links over here. And so check that out. It kind of explains how Ponzi schemes work. And then here's this other great movie. It's a TED Talk called Frans de Waal, Moral Behavior in Animals. So it looks at here's this pro-social choice, which we've already talked about, but it also looks at how do other animals exhibit morality and pro-social thinking. So pro-social behavior. So check that one out. It's pretty dang funny, actually, these guys right here, how they respond to inequality. You'll get a good laugh. It's actually a pretty funny video. A lot of people laugh. More towards this end of the video, so check it out. It's good laughs. Also go take a look at some people who are doing good in the world. You can look at this 60 Minutes, CBS News. Maybe it's just CBS News. So yeah, just click the link here. Yeah, it is 60 Minutes right there. Click the link right there for Modern Day Robin Hood Applies Business Skills to Philanthropy. Great, great, great. And finally, this video is just interesting to me. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cute, cool, and exhibited some people and their humanity and just living life and, trying to do good. Or, I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I don't know, I'm not quite sure why I include it other than the fact that somehow it resonates with me. So always appreciate the stranger who is there for you. Two things you could get out of that video. One, always appreciate the stranger who is there for you. And two, life is short because this guy has since passed away. So you can check that video out. All right, that's it for ethics. I hope you learned some good skills to help you make better decisions when you encounter ethical dilemmas in your life, and to help you suffer less in your life and make choices which really contribute to your long-term well-being. I hope you picked those things up from me this week. See you next week, where we will talk about e-waste and the environment.